Are you direct, to the point, firm, honest, and speaking of honest, maybe a little blunt? Even if this doesn't describe you, I bet you know someone who is. And I'm sure you realize that this style of communication can be valuable, but not always appreciated. Which brings me to the directive leader. Directive leaders take a hands-on approach, are involved in group tasks, and they are decisive. But like I said, this is not always appreciated. You might know a directive leader that comes across as a micromanager. Like the similar autocratic leader, directive leaders are not always valued for what might come across as a bossy leadership style. However, a directive leader who also has a high level of communication competence knows how to enact this style of leadership in an effective way, depending on the situation. Think about how a directive leader would be especially valuable in an emergency situation. In high-stakes or time-sensitive situations, groups benefit from an experienced and knowledgeable leader who can take charge and give decisive direction. This take charge attitude may not be well received in every circumstance. However, when used effectively, it can literally save lives. This is where communication competence is key. Check out the next video of a real-life leader taking decisive action in an emergency situation. Captain Sullenberger, better known as Sully, describes the intentional and life-saving actions he took in 2009 during an air emergency. Pay attention as he describes almost single-handedly making split-second decisions. Also, note his very intentional and thoughtful word choices that cued the flight, crew, and passengers to follow instructions and take immediate action. Sully's directive leadership style that fateful day would ultimately deem this emergency landing the miracle on the Hudson.